What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Last episode, we did the investigation of our dead friend. This time, we're gonna be heading into what Monokuma called the final class trial. Yeah.
But still.
Understandable. I don't know, man.
Well?
Good point. Class trial time. Yeah.
But
All right.
still. Right?
Yeah, you're right. But also, stop talking and let me go do the trial, please? Like, that's my only complaint with this game. Sometimes the dialogue carries on a bit longer than it needs to. So it's just a little annoying. Okay, before we head in, there are just two things that I want to talk about real quick. One of them is about the game, one of them is not. So I'll start with the one about the game first. When you look at the map, when you're going to each of the islands, you could see where everything is and how the whole thing is laid out. But for whatever reason, I always take the longest possible path to get to where I'm going from where I spawn in. And that's just kind of annoying. And I'm sure that that's largely a me thing, but also, it's more than just a little tedious. Second, I've been doing this entire chapter in one sitting, and partway through my arm started to fall asleep, so if I'm not doing great with moving the cursor during the trial, it's because my arm is still, like, recovering. And I don't know exactly what caused it to fall asleep, because I have, like, a wrist rest on my mouse pad and everything. It's just, something is odd with this. Anyway, on to the trial. Everyone's here.
Damn right.
Huh? Damn it.
Stupid fool.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately.
That's right. Damn it. Of course not. You know. That's right.
Huh? Got it?
What are you thinking?
I'll pick you up!
Yeah.
Huh?
Fair. Maybe.
Wait.
You.
But still. Yep.
Let's get going. Monokuma, you know what to do. Down we go.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Well,
Yeah.
you are right.
Damn it.
Yeah. I guess he finally got his wish of being a stepping stone for the ultimates. Oh, I like this.
Well now.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. Hey.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Now then. Viva killing!
fifth class trial, the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagito, the ultimate lucky student. He seemed alright at first, but he was fucking crazy. But he did help us. So that's what we're here to find out. Which one of us was it? Same speech. Let's go. Save, let's go. Shit. Set skills. Open e-handbook, because I'm sure I have the ability to buy a few more. How many do I have? 5. I could buy 1 more. What does this do? Slightly increase the time limit for each phase. Nah. Slightly increase the influence gauge. Extraordinary focus. Maneuver? No, clock up. That doesn't help. And I can't get anything that I just can't. Let's get extraordinary focus. I didn't mean to open that again. Alright, let's go. Finish preparations.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Yes, though! One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Alright, time to make our argument. Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panel, oil later, and Monokuma's account. I don't remember getting Monokuma's account, but okay.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place! If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first!
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
I don't know.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
This would be really stupid. I know this game too well.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Bruh.
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Huh? What are you on about? I'm thinking I'm gonna need the duct tape again.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down!
I don't know. How do you do that? Is that right click?
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Huh.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how first the killer tortured Nagito and got in.
I don't know. We don't know. Oh, yes we do, because he was trying to scream and it had the creases and shit.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush
I wouldn't
on him or
mind that.
something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, it's friggin' crazy.
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse. Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back. Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of setup? Like what? I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on...
Damn right
Good
it-
grief. The reason for the fire? Oh, that's right. The things were set up like dominoes.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably
No.
just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door
Yes.
caused.
I agree with that.
I forgot that you could do that because it's been so long since we did it.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The loud music? Maybe? Probably? Okay. MP3 player.
I see!
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Uh-huh.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange. Looking back on
Huh.
it was...
Huh?
Ah,
And when we opened
Yeah.
the door, the domino effect started. Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned it,
Right.
because the panel was
but the blocked doorway,
Is that a...
it's a major problem.
Oh, so the killer couldn't have gotten out. I see.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the pattern, you don't have to think so hard. There's
You don't mean...
Hajime?
Oh my god. Where is he? You fucking asshole.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
I...
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Uh-huh. I feel like that burned rope is gonna come into play.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your
That's
front tail?
impossible.
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Alright, loop back around, please.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
I don't know about that.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
I see.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a beer if you
Why?
want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure
Sonia?
they pay you first.
That's definitely...
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime,
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and...
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000...
Good grief. You didn't... Akane, I don't think you know how money works. Anyway. Because it was covered in blood, I'm thinking that Monokuma plush?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
if he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing
Doubt
knife
it.
expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow? And slammed his right hand down on it?
Propped it onto what?
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his...
If he threw the knife and let the knife, could he stab his hand? Is he a throwing knife? Maybe he propped the knife
Yeah.
somehow.
I agree with that. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary.
Yeah, shut up.
It's got the same.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now for
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear. If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left...
Then he probably took the spear first. And
if you got penetrated by something...
I'm sorry.
Like I said, if you got
Hey, bastards, you better...
Like she said. in
Thank
that
you,
case,
Chiaki.
It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand.
so you're saying it's...
But no matter what I think, to think that one of us could kill someone with...
You say you can't believe it, but that's why you keep getting.
You just shut your mouth. It's like if you even think about
But it's just as... This might also be the same. Calling this...
And are you saying there is a killer?
Of course that doesn't...
As Kazuichi said. But even if I'm betrayed again, no matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer. But
Do you really think so?
But you said it too.
I did say difficult, but I never
I'm
said
gonna go back and
impossible.
fact check that.
I feel that there's... some way...
What?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. That's how... everyone...
Yes.
Alright, let's...
Alright. Okay. Well, we've been talking about his hands, so...
How did Nagito stab
Probably gonna
himself
need
with a
this.
spear? Let's work together and think this through. When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the
Yeah.
knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left...
Not necessarily. Fuck off. Not necessarily.
No, that's wrong.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean...
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered,
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
like you said, it looks like an unnatural...
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Probably gripping something?
I see.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front
I
tail?
doubt that.
Perish the thought! He was...
Maybe not the spear.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
Huh.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me...
At times like this, you should always strike from a...
Oh, I got it! Yeah, like I thought. However, what's important...
Oh.
I see!
Asshole.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course.
The girder.
It seems we are stuck.
At a time like, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead?
That's a long.
One step at a time.
Let's focus on the spear first.
How it was
Yes. Okay. It's gotta be the girder. This bastard killed himself. Alright, logic dive time. Let's go. Oh, hello. Question 1? Question mark. There we go. Where is the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above him? Like, that's the only way it could have landed where it did. The fuck is that thing? Death. That thing is death. Oh, kindly fuck off, man. I need to learn to break. Okay, be good. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? The ceiling girder. Because we did see a bloodstain on that. So it's gotta be related somehow. What are these red things? And why are they so fucking annoying? Dude, seriously? Fuck off. Where's my next question? Question 3. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? Oh, the cord. Alright. We in the clear.
It's all coming together. The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he probably used the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support. He hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide?
Likely.
Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping a spear? That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Wow. I mean, we've felt his malice before we even got there.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that
You are right.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so we'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed
No,
with
we
the
haven't even done
voting
our break
time?
yet.
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial.
Not
It's okay to reach
quite.
such a happy...
Then it's okay? It's understood.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor...
That's true, but
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
The weird...
You're gonna keep going? And here I thought we were finally finished.
The Monokuma file. Body was discovered inside the warehouse, noon sharp. The... Uh-huh.
I see!
is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah,
Huh? There was something suspicious.
The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there is a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. Uh-huh. Doesn't it usually directly say what the cause of death is? I don't think this one did. Fuck. Please, what's going on? Why is this so fucking... you. Here. I need another D. Need E's. Ow. 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 Can't... I need T. I need H. Get me out of here. There was so much more than usual. I'm so fucking fucked. Ouch. Anyway.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that weird?
But the cause of death... The spear in Nagito's stomach.
Maybe it's not included if it's not...
Well, I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place!
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide. But, it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying, but if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma! You heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
Uh-huh. I see. There's no such thing as overthinking with this, Hajime. Anyway, that's it for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Next time on Danganronpa 2, we'll finally settle the case of Nagito's death.
No.
See you guys then.